Yeah, it's a big topic. Like having been involved with digital art for so long, like it's not like we were ever looking for a way of making money off of the artworks that we made. But I would say that we made video games because we saw it as a way of selling interactive artwork.
Mm-hmm.
We were always like, this is interactive art, like no matter what anybody says, that's what video games are.
Right.
And there were tons of people willing to um, really spend time with the work, and to
Right.
really analyze it and play it through and through. Like I said, people have been playing our games for like, half their lives or something. And that's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
So we were sort of into that notion that people valued it, indeed. And so I think with NFTs, I see it a little bit like that as well. But more than that, as someone who's been a practitioner for like 25 years or something by now, like or more, it feels like to not be involved in this in the dialogue of this moment is would be sort of a betrayal of everything I've done my entire life. It's like, no, this is something major that's happening and I should try to understand it. And more than that, I should try to help other people understand it. I should try to
Yes.
make work that honors what I feel digital art is or can be, and not leave it to people to just say, oh, digital art is this, cartoon ape or whatever, not to diss it too hard, but at the same time, no, there's been people who've been making digital art for, since forever, you know what I mean? And it's been a lot of different things. So we need to have that plurality of what in that definition of digital art. Um, the financialization of it is kind of secondary in a certain sense because I don't see that as the necessary. Um, like I see that as being the big cultural question, as being like something that's almost beyond my control, and
Right.
yet my involvement influences things. So it's sort of like um, a big question, an open question that no one can pretend to have the answers to. Like in terms of what NFTs are, what the blockchain is and can be, and how that's going to impact culture, the digital culture that we all find ourselves involved in, this at Web3 as opposed to Web2 or whatever,
Right.
notion of data collection and who controls protocols and all of this stuff is extremely important, is all I'm going to
Right.
say. So there's two different issues to me here. There is the history of digital art within art history, and there is this larger um, issue around capitalism and um, data collection and, yeah, protocols that we as a society have to deal with in a much more serious way. And it's hard to reconcile both of those things, for
Right.
me.
Right. 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 Um,
Yeah, it's complicated.
it's so complicated, and I think we're all learning as we go, right? And I think it is quite interesting, though, the amount of attention, even monetarily, that NFTs have garnered, right? Because it's putting digital art into this whole new landscape that um, you know just didn't exist before, and whether for good or for bad, because of the money aspect of it, but also at the same time, why shouldn't a digital artist get paid for their work, even if nobody, right?
Exactly. And it's like, it's not like, you know, and the struggle has been real, for every digital artist, this notion of trying to make your work and what is your work, and having to redefine that based on your material needs has been
Right.
like the reality of every digital artist, and feeling to have this sort of feeling right now, like, oh, I get it now, I can, like, more importantly, other people get it and they're actually able to see the work in a different way. I think even if people are not involved in NFTs, I think there's a new sort of way of looking at it. Case in point, my now my physical sculptures and my digital sculptures are seen on equal ground, which was definitely not the case
Right, exactly.
before. And and to be able to do that is like a dream, you know. It's like, yes, you know. Now, of course, there's various pitfalls in there, but I can't say that I can't hate the premise of these two things being seen equally, you know. Um, so I can only try to understand what's going on
Yeah.
and make sure that I'm here for, you know, what I believe in this artistic movement that we have, you know.